Chapter 41 Return to the Palace, the third elder of Fengyun Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's polite for two of you to worship. Tai Poyan and Tianyu King also hugged their fists towards demon Zhangshenglu and arrow god, Chonglu and arrow god nodded slightly, and they seemed to know each other. The demon lord doesn't know something. This forest of 10,000 beasts is not that easy to destroy. The most important thing for them to become the dominant force in the Northern Territory is that they have the background of holy soldiers. With such ultimate foundation, if we want to destroy them now, we haven't had the chance yet. Dongfang Yuan said slowly, the five major overlord-level forces in the Northern Territory, Fengyun Sect, Han Wanxiang Sect, Forest of 10,000 Beasts, Wuji Sect, and Tianyan Sect, these five major forces dominate the land of the Northern Territory. Within each force, there are more than 10 gods in the Tianzuan realm, and there are even more Dharma realms. The main reason why they can maintain their dominance for a long time and will not be violated is because they have the background of holy soldiers. Currently, the strength of the Tianyan Dynasty is enough to compete head-on with the overlord forces, but if they want to completely crush them and destroy them, their Tianyan Dynasty still lacks some foundation. His Majesty. Then if that's the case, what should we do next? Why don't we forget about it like this? Xuanhuan asked. Of course it's impossible to just let it go. One beast forest dares to bully me. If we don't give him a strong counterattack, then I, the Tianyan Emperor, will not be laughed at by the people of the Northern Territory. Dongfang Yuan thought for a while and suddenly thought, hey, King Tianyu, I remember, the Bear King, one of the 3 kings of the 10,000 Beasts Forest. He seems to have a son. He is not currently in the forest of 10,000 beasts. Good. Your Majesty, that man's name is Man Gang, and he is the young master of the Bear clan in the forest of 10,000 beasts. There was indeed news that the Bear King asked his men to take Man Gang to the Bone Burial Forest for training. It should still be in the Bone Burial Forest now. King Tianyu said seriously at this moment, and the Bone Burial Forest he mentioned was a place of experience in the Northern Territory. There are many Yin spirits and ghosts inside that were destined to die a good death. It is a place with extremely strong Yin energy and evil spirits. However, those evil spirits are also a great tonic. If you devour them and then refine them, you can achieve a great breakthrough in your spiritual power. Presumably that Man Gang was planning to attack those evil spirits. It is good. Great. This time, I will make 10,000 beasts Lin not only spit out my emperor's enlightenment pill, but also make them suffer the most painful price. Arrow God, you set off immediately, go to the Bone Burial Forest, and capture that man alive and bring him back to the Tianyan Dynasty. Dongfang Yuan saw this and immediately gave the order. Yes, Your Majesty, that the Arrow God responded immediately, and then the figure disappeared directly into the house. Is Your Majesty planning to threaten the Bear King with his brutal strength? But if this is the case, will the effect be counterproductive? Tai Poyan asked with some worry. The man is in my hands, unless the Bear King doesn't want this son. Otherwise, he can only be led by my nose. Besides, if the situation is really counterproductive, what do I have to fear? Now we just can't crush them and destroy them, but if we really want to fight, it won't be difficult to cripple their entire forest of beasts. Dongfang Yuan said domineeringly. After half a day, Dongfang Yuan also said goodbye to the senior officials of the Qian family and was preparing to take his people back to the Tianyan Dynasty. Qian Shinro also got up around noon, but she couldn't take 2 big steps at the moment. Seeing their daughter's shy look, Qian Jiuyou and the ancestor of the Qian family all showed happy smiles. Later, under the watch of the powerful men of the Qian family and spies from various major forces, Dongfang Yuan left Tianlin City with Qian Shinro and the powerful men of the Tianyan Dynasty. Acacia, at this time, in an antique women's room, a coquettish woman with an extremely attractive figure and looked like a disaster was sitting in the room. Her big, watery eyes exude a seductive aura every moment. Her appearance seems to be able to enchant everyone. If any man in the world takes one look at her, it will be difficult for him to look away. This woman is none other than the saint of the Han Wanxiang Sect, Han Wanxiang. She is naturally charming, and every change in her demeanor is full of all kinds of charm for men in the world. At this time, there were many message papers and a portrait on her table. The person in the portrait is none other than Dongfang Yuan himself. You are not in the Tianzhuan realm under the age of 25, it's quite interesting. Forget it, let me go and meet you for a while. As long as you are a man, I'm not worried that you won't be tricked. Han Wanxiang's figure flashed open and he opened the door of his room. Outside the door, there were two old women who had been waiting for a long time. Saint, we are ordered by the sect leader to go to the Tianyan Dynasty with the saint to protect the safety of the saint. The two old women said in unison. Han Wanxiang looked at the two old women in front of him. Her father asked her to hide her identity and go to the Tianyan Dynasty to explore the identity and background of Dongfang Yuan to see if he was the reincarnation of a powerful man. If so, who? His father asked her to explore these issues as clearly as possible, and these two old women are powerful people in the Tianzhuan realm of Fengyun Sect. And they are all at the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm. With the two of them here, my safety will be guaranteed. Weather. Two elders, please go with me. Immediately afterwards, Han Wanxiang and the two old women took the flying ship and left the mountain gate where the Xuanhuan sect was located. At this time, Fengyun Sect's back mountain, an old man came out of the secret room, his body exuding the aura of cultivation in the 7th level of Tianzhuan realm. This man was thin, but his facial features were sinister, with a hooked nose and triangular eyes. He looks like an extremely sinister and cunning figure. There is a thick scar on the left side of his face, probably caused by being scratched by a knife in his early years, and this person's true identity is the 3rd elder of Fengyun Sect, Yidao. Congratulations, Master, for making a breakthrough in cultivation and breaking through. At this time, a middle-aged man had been waiting for a long time. He stood in front of the secret room. After Yidao broke through the barrier and came out, he immediately saluted him. Yidao nodded, looked at him, and said, Yi Ming, why does your face look wrong? Did something happen? The man named Yi Ming said with a somewhat unsightly expression, Master, junior brother. Junior brother, he is dead. Yidao's originally Yundan-thinking face changed immediately after hearing these words. His face darkened, and his eyes became even more shocked as he said, Xinghai is dead. Who did it? How did he die? Yidao regarded Dongfang Yuan as his successor. Now that he had broken through and escaped, he unexpectedly learned the news that Dongfang Yuan was dead. My inner emotions suddenly fluctuated violently. Chapter 42 The Three Girls Meet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Ming also roughly told Yidao the cause of the incident. Dongfang Yuan competed with Dongfang Yuan for the position of emperor, and was eventually killed by him. Even the bones of the supreme were dug out. How can that be? How can that good-for-nothing Dongfang Yuan defeat Xinghai? Yidao said in shock. Master. Now the Tianyan Dynasty is different from the past. They have successively destroyed the Great Dream Dynasty, Xiaoyu Palace, and even the Blood Shadow Tower, and have grown stronger again and again. Now their reputation in the Northern Territory is second only to the overlord forces like us. And the main key to all this is because of Feng Yuan. At a young age, less than 30 years old, he has reached the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm. Now it is even more popular in the Northern Territory. It is very likely that he is the reincarnation of a certain peerless powerhouse. Yi Ming reported seriously. Road. 5th level of Tianzhuan realm. This. Yidao was deeply surprised. He didn't expect that so many things would happen in the short period of time he broke through in seclusion. The development speed of Tianyan Dynasty today is too amazing. Call out. At this time, a figure suddenly appeared. It was Han Zhao, the deputy sect leader of Fengyun Sect. Deputy sect master, why are you here? Yidao looked at Han Zhao who suddenly appeared and asked immediately. 3 elders. Yi Ming should have told you about Dongfang Yuan and Dongfang Yuan, right? Han Zhao said directly. Yidao nodded, I told you. However, I don't care if Dongfang Yuan is the reincarnation of a strong man. If he dares to kill my apprentice, I will make him pay a heavy price. Yidao's attitude was resolute. After learning that it was Dongfang Yuan who murdered Dongfang Yuan, murderous intent was already in his eyes. I'm not here to persuade you. On the contrary, this is also what the sect means. We have discussed together, third elder, you can go to Dongfang Yuan to settle the score. If the Tianyan Dynasty resists, the sect will not sit idly by and do nothing. Just don't worry. Han Zhao's words also stated Fengyun Sect's position and absolutely supported him. It is good. In this case, I will set off immediately to Tianyan. I must cut off Dongfang Yuan's dog head to pay homage to Xinghai. Ying Yidao responded solemnly. Then, Ying Yidao left the mountain gate of Fengyun Sect and went to Tianyan Dynasty, Tianyan Palace. Dongfang Yuan brought Mo Zunzhenglu, Tai Poyan and others back from Tianlin City. He also immediately called General Feipeng, who was shocked when he saw Mo Zunzhenglu was there. The two of them are old enemies who cherish each other. After meeting, they were very excited. They didn't expect that they could see each other in this world. Dongfang Yuan also asked the two of them to have a good drink tonight and get drunk before resting, and he himself, with Qian Xinro, came directly to the harem. Beloved concubine. The emperor is back. Dongfang Yuan and Qian Xinro stepped into the hall one after another. I saw Xiao Qingli sitting on the bed. After hearing the sound, she ended her meditation practice and walked towards the two of them. Dongfang Yuan rushed up and hugged her directly, feeling her soft skin and feeling that the temperature in his arms was gradually rising, and sniffed lightly, smelling the charming body fragrance of Xiao Qingli's body. Her body and mind felt extremely comfortable, as if all her fatigue had been swept away in an instant. Beloved concubine. My emperor has been away for so long, have you missed me? Dongfang Yuan said with a smile on his face. Stop it. You've only been gone a few days. I didn't miss you. Xiao Qingli turned her face away, like a noble and cold white swan, with a hint of arrogance on her face. Yo. If you didn't think about it, then why is your face turning red again? Truthful. Dongfang Yuan also touched her slender waist and said jokingly. No way. Stop talking nonsense. Xiao Qingli said immediately, but she allowed Dongfang Yuan to hold her like this and did not resist and break away. At this time, her eyes couldn't help but meet Qian Xinro who was standing there. His eyes couldn't help but shrink slightly. Tianyan Divine Body. Xiao Qingli was a little surprised. She had not seen clearly when she came in with Dongfang Yuan earlier. After taking a closer look at this moment, I discovered that Qian Xinro is actually the divine body of Tianji. But I haven't awakened yet. Afterwards, Dongfang Yuan also let go of his hand, and then stood in the middle of the two of them, introducing them to each other. My beloved concubine, let me introduce you to you. This is the eldest lady of the Qian family, Qian Xinro. Xinro, this is what I just told you, the future queen of our Tianyan Dynasty, the most famous beauty in the Dream Dynasty, Xiao Qingli. Xinro, I've met Sister Xiao, Qian Xinro said politely to Xiao Qingli first. Dongfang Yuan was afraid that the two women would fight, so on the way back, he told Qian Xinro about Xiao Qingli and her true identity. He also told her clearly that Xiao Qingli was the future master of the harem. No matter how many concubines Dongfang Yuan would accept in the future, she would still be the only one worthy of the position of queen. Qian Xinro is a smart woman, and she certainly understands the meaning of Dongfang Yuan's words, and after learning that Xiao Qingli was once a female emperor, Qian Xinro had no intention of competing with her for favor. At this moment, he also lowered his posture and showed great respect to Xiao Qingli. Don't be too polite. The eldest lady of the Qian family. I see. It seems that the rumors are indeed rumors. I didn't expect that the eldest lady of the Qian family, who is called a vase, would actually be the divine body of Tianji. This place is really amazing, Xiao Qingli said with a normal expression. Qian Xinro, on the other hand, was a little confused. Tianji divine body? What is this? Xiao Qingli turned her eyes and looked at Dongfang Yuan. Have you not told Xinro yet? Not yet. This emperor has been thinking about things all the way and has forgotten this matter. Dongfang Yuan suddenly remembered. I heard that the Blood Shadow Studio has been destroyed. Now there are only two conditions left for you to agree to. But the second condition, those two things are not that easy to get. It is only in the hands of the overlords in the Northern Territory. Isn't this a bit tricky for you now? Xiao Qingli asked with some concern. She didn't know why at the moment, but she suddenly wanted to lower the standard of the conditions she had previously proposed, especially after she saw that Qian Shinrou's body was broken. This feeling became even more intense. Chapter 43 Ambition Revealed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My beloved concubine, don't worry. Those two things, I will be able to get them all soon. What I'm thinking about is related to the Blood Shadow Studio. When I sent people to destroy the Shuiying Tower headquarters, although I killed Guan Zhiyun, I didn't see the deputy building owner Nan Minyu. Besides, the Xuanhuan has also explored the area, but there are no clues. This fish slipped through the net. I'm worried that this fish will cause some waves. Dongfang Yuan's code of conduct is to eradicate the root causes without leaving any future troubles, and Nan Minyu is in the North Territory, and he is known as the think tank of the Blood Shadow Tower, and he is in the heavenly realm. If such a person lives in the dark, he should not pose any fatal threat to Dongfang Yuan, but if he retaliates by attacking the Tianyan Dynasty's place of residence or the Qian family, it would still be a bit troublesome. So what Dongfang Yuan was thinking about along the way was to find a way to lure the fish out, but he didn't have a suitable strategy. Nan Minyu. If he escapes, I don't think he will stay in the Northern Territory in a short time. Although he is the deputy owner of the Blood Shadow Building, his true identity is actually not simple. He is a force in the sea area, an elder in the Tiandi Pavilion. Judging from this situation, he should have probably fled back to the sea area. Xiao Qingli had a deep impression of Nan Minyu, and there were many rumors about him in the Northern Territory. However, Xinghai Dynasty learned about it by chance. Nan Minyu was not from the Northern Territory, but a warrior from the Sea Territory. Sea area. It turns out to be from that place. Well, in that case, let's ignore him for now. There are some troubles at the moment, but they are not over yet. Dongfang Yuan said slowly. Xiao Qingli also saw that Dongfang Yuan had something to do next, so she took the initiative and said, "Okay, you can go. I'll chat with Shinrou for a while and explain to her about the Tianyan Divine Body." Ha 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 ha. Okay, rower, then you can have a good chat with your sister Qingli, and we will have to share the same bed in the future. Dongfang Yuan smiled with a hint of meaning in his eyes. Qian Shinrou blushed for a moment, feeling shy and at a loss. Xiao Qingli also didn't expect Dongfang Yuan to be so shameless at this moment, so she just gave him a roll of eyes. Go away. Dongfang Yuan chuckled, then turned and left. The two women stayed in the palace and started talking. Dongfang Yuan came to the main hall. Xuanhuan, Tai Poyan, and King Tianyu have been waiting for a long time. In the main hall, there are several slaying guards and golden armored guards, all of whom have been promoted to the third level of Tianzuan realm. Your Majesty, just now, the spy we have been keeping an eye on Fengyun Sect has received news that Enidao has left seclusion and left Fengyun Sect with great momentum. He is probably heading towards our Tianyan Dynasty, Xuanhuan reported. Dongfang Yuan nodded, his expression not surprising. It was already within his expectation. Come, just come. When he comes, Tianyu 9-leaf grass will be found. Dongfang Yuan had already thought about it. As long as the Enidao came, it would be like giving him chips, exchange him for the Tianyu 9-leaf grass, then obtain the Night Moon Crystal from the 10,000 Beasts Forest, and finally directly hold the Queen's sealing ceremony. By then, he was looking forward to what kind of expression Xiao Qingli would have at that moment of spring. Let a proud empress who once stood on top of the world have sex with her completely willingly. That proud face like a white swan, how charming it would be if it finally begged for mercy, especially after tasting the forbidden fruit of Qian Shinrou's obedience. He wanted to try to see what the proud empress would taste like. His Majesty. That Enidao was once a strong man at the 6th level of Tianzuan realm. Now he has broken through and must have reached the 7th level of Tianzuan realm. In this case, I need to instruct the soldiers to prepare for the enemy. Tai Poyan asked. Dongfang Yuan shook his head. There is no need for this. When he comes, invite him into the palace, and I will personally receive him. He can't afford to ride the waves. Dongfang Yuan was very confident in his heart. don't say that Yidao is at the 7th level of Tianzhuan realm, even if he is at the 8th level of Tianzhuan realm, or even at the peak of Tianzhuan realm, entering the palace of Tianyan Dynasty. There is only one way to die, even without Dongfang Yuan taking action. The semi-saint level palace protecting formation was enough to suppress it to death. Correct. King Tianyu, there is something I need to tell you. Dongfang Yuan suddenly said. I obey. King Tianyu cupped his hands and said. In this way, I will give you 50 soldiers and horses, and 3 god-slaying guards, 3 shadow guards, and 3 golden armor guards, all of whom are from the 3rd level of the Tianzhuan realm. They will all be under your command. And what you have to do is start to clean up all the top forces around the Tianyan Dynasty. Spread out from the inside out. If anyone is unwilling to surrender, there is no need to report, they will be killed immediately. I will let the imperial power of my Tianyan dynasty dominate every inch of the northern territory, so that all living beings in the northern territory will have awe of Tianyan in their hearts. You have confidence. The words Dongfang Yuan said at this moment made the 3 people on the field feel excited and passionate. Your Majesty is fully planning to rule the northern territory. First, defeat all the forces and let the imperial power of Tianyan dynasty fill every corner of the northern territory. Finally, he overcame all major forces and became the well-deserved dominant force in the northern territory. This goal is grand and huge. The 3 kings of Tianyu all stood tall and straight. He answered seriously, Your Majesty, please rest assured. I have confidence. It is good. Marshal Tai, I also have something to give you. I want you to help the dynasty recruit troops throughout the northern territory. Today, the total number of soldiers in our Tianyan dynasty's army is only over 200 million. If you want to unify the northern territory, this number of people is far from enough. So, we need to expand the army. Let me increase the number to at least 1,000 million. As for the resources of the entire army, there is no need to worry. From today on, the resource allocation of the entire army will be 3 times that of before. You will be responsible for this matter, Prime Minister Zhuo. Yes, Your Majesty. Tai Poyan and Xuanhuan responded excitedly one after another. Now that they have destroyed forces such as the Blood Shadow Tower and the Evil Moon Palace, they have obtained the resources in their treasury. Today, the Tianyan dynasty's underlying resources have increased several times compared to before, and coupled with the current momentum and prestige of Tianyan dynasty, as well as the huge resources they provide to the army, they are attracted by interests and reputation. I believe it will not take long to expand the army to 1,000 million, call out. At this time, the figure of the arrow god suddenly appeared in the hall. In addition, he was holding a knocked-out black bear in his hand. Your Majesty, Man Gang has been successfully captured, the arrow god ordered. Dongfang Yuan smiled and said, Thank you for your hard work in worshipping the arrow god. Alright, King Tianyu, Marshal Tai, you 2 go and do some work. Yes, Your Majesty. The minister retired. King Tianyu and Tai Poyan left. Several god-slaying guards and golden armored guards in the hall also followed the steps of King Tianyu and left the hall. Chapter 44 Poor Man Gang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, only Dongfang Yuan, Xuanhuan, Arrow God, and the unconscious Man Gang were present in the main hall. Dongfang Yuan immediately said, I enshrine the Arrow God and wake him up. Yes, Your Majesty. The arrow god then shot a burst of power into Man Gang's body. Gradually, Man Gang regained consciousness and his bare eyes gradually opened. Bold! Who are you? How dare you kidnap me? Do you know who I am? After Man Gang regained consciousness, he jumped to his feet and yelled with anger on his face, snapped. The next moment, Dongfang Yuan flicked his hand, and a slap swept over from far away, and immediately gave Man Gang a big slap in the face. Can you speak well? If you can't say it right, I will ask someone to teach you, Dongfang Yuan said with an indifferent expression. Damn things. I am very strong. My father is the Bear King, one of the 3 kings of the 10,000 Beasts Forest. Not only do you dare to kidnap me, but you also dare to beat me? Are you tired of living like crazy? Dongfang Yuan did not make a killing move. Man Gang only had a red slap mark on his face, and immediately turned to Dongfang Yuan with a bare face and asked angrily. Prime Minister Zhua, cut off his roots, chop him into pieces and feed them to the dogs. Dongfang Yuan saw that Man Gang had not realized the situation at the moment and did not tolerate him at all. Yes, Your Majesty. Xuanhuan immediately took action, and a force directly suppressed Man Gang to the ground, unable to move. Then he turned his palm into a knife, stared at the huge bear's body, and walked slowly over. Xuanhuan has always had a grudge against the Bear clan, and now that His Majesty has spoken in person, he will not be lenient. Hey! Are you crazy? If you dare to touch a hair on my head, my father will cut you all into pieces. Man Gang was roaring in panic at this moment, but Xuanhuan had no intention of stopping at all. He walked up to him and knelt down. Slowly stretched out his hand. Do not. No. Don't come here. Don't. I beg for mercy. I beg for mercy. Don't touch me. I'll say it nicely. Man Gang finally panicked at this moment. Seeing that Xuanhuan had no intention of stopping, he gave in completely and only wanted to save his own life. Stop. Prime Minister Zhua, please wait for a while, Dongfang Yuan said with a calm smile. Yes, Your Majesty. Xuanhuan then stood up and stood beside him. The man was so frightened that he finally breathed a sigh of relief, pretty strong. Let me ask you, how much does King Bear love you? Dongfang Yuan suddenly asked with interest. Man Gang was stunned. He didn't expect why Dongfang Yuan suddenly asked himself this question. It hurts. You must love me. My father is my only son. If something happens to me, he will definitely be furious. Even if he pays any price, he will definitely find a way to avenge me. Man Gang said with a somewhat nervous tone. However, the implication is that there is also some intention to make Dongfang Yuan not to act rashly. Once something happens to him, his father will definitely make Dongfang Yuan and the others miserable. Dongfang Yuan smiled disdainfully after hearing this. What he wanted to know was already known at this moment. Okay. Prime Minister Zhua, please spread the news. Tell 10,000 Beasts Forest that Man Gang is in the hands of our Tianyan Dynasty, so if the Bear King wants to keep his son. Within 15 days, let him bring the pills that were taken from us, as well as the Night Moon Crystal, 10,000 years Ginseng King, Purple Yun Ganoderma, Black Essence Wood. Wait, come to Tianyan Dynasty in exchange for his son. If not, half a month later, what they will see is Man Gang's body cut into two. Dongfang Yuan immediately ordered. He also opened his mouth directly. In addition to the 5th grade Enlightenment Pill and the Night Moon Crystal, he also reported more than a dozen equally precious spiritual objects from heaven and earth. Even if a hegemonic force like 10,000 Beasts Forest took out these all at once, it would definitely cause a lot of bleeding. Yes, Your Majesty. I will make arrangements immediately. Xuanhuan immediately resigned and went down to arrange the matter. Tianyan Dynasty. Are you Dongfang Yuan? At this time, Man Gang in the palace guessed Dongfang Yuan's identity after hearing what Dongfang Yuan said just now, snapped. What? Another palm. This time, Man Gang couldn't help but howl and scream. The one who made the move was not Dongfang Yuan, but the arrow god on the side. The god of arrow had done something serious, and Ganyang's face was directly deformed by the slap. The left side of his face was completely deflated, and his mouth was not only swollen, but also lost several teeth. Presumptuous. Is His Majesty's name also something you can address directly? The arrow god's tone was cold and full of dominance. Man Gang was angry and resentful in his heart, but there was nothing he could do. At this moment, people under the eaves have to bow their heads. Tianyan Dynasty, Wu. After my father comes to save me, I will make you all kneel on the ground. I will definitely return these slaps to you 10 times or 100 times. Man Gang secretly made a vow in his heart that Dongfang Yuan and the others would pay a heavy price. Okay. Arrow God, take him down. Dongfang Yuan looked indifferent, waved his hand and said. Yes, your majesty. Man Gang was carried out of the hall by the arrow god. Soon, the forces in the Northern Territory were shocked by the shocking news. One of the three major clans in 10,000 Beasts Forest, the young master of the Bear Clan, Man Gang, was kidnapped by the Tianyan Dynasty. They even publicly blackmailed 10,000 Beasts Forest. If 10,000 Beasts Forest did not come to redeem people within 15 days with the things displayed by Dongfang Yuan, they wanted to tear up the vote and let the white-haired person of the Bear King give away the black-haired person. As soon as this news came out, all the warriors in the Northern Territory were shocked. Many people even don't understand. How dare the Tianyan Dynasty do this? How dare you extort money from 10,000 Beasts Forest? This is going against the sky. I'll go. This Tianyan Dynasty is really brave. It was just a matter of destroying the Blood Shadow Tower before, but now it's even targeting the forest of 10,000 beasts. This is a real overlord force. Let me tell you, this Dongfang Yuan % is too inflated. I thought that after destroying forces like the Great Dream Dynasty and Xiuyou Palace, I could challenge the forest of 10,000 beasts. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but the foundation of 10,000 Beasts Forest is incomparable to 100 Evil Moon Palaces. Moreover, King Xiong is a strong man at the peak of Tianzuan realm. Lin Nei even has the background of a holy soldier. How can a small Tianyan dynasty challenge him? In my opinion, if the Tianyan dynasty dares to provoke the 10,000 Beasts Forest this time, it will most likely be doomed. It's really self-inflicted and you can't live. Chapter 45 The Wrath of the Bear King. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Most of the voices in the entire Northern Territory think that Tianyan Dynasty is simply seeking death by this move. How dare they openly provoke 10,000 Beasts Forest and completely trample on the Bear King's face? They will inevitably suffer extremely serious consequences. Now some forces are waiting to see what tragic ending Tianyan Dynasty will end up with. Forest of 10,000 Beasts. As the dominant force in the Northern Territory and the only monster overlord, the majesty of the 10,000 Beasts Forest cannot be challenged in the Northern Territory. The Forest of 10,000 Beasts is located in the northernmost part of the Northern Territory, far away from the Tianyan Dynasty in the south. This is one of the main reasons why Dongfang Yuan directly gave them 15 days, at this time, inside a palace in 10,000 Beasts Forest. Bastard! This kid Dongfang Yuan has gone too far to bully others. He dares to blatantly challenge me. He is looking for death. Snapped. The mighty and majestic Bear King sat in the position, and his body turned into a human appearance for the convenience of walking. At this time, his face was extremely angry, and he was so angry that he slapped the table next to him and broke it into pieces. Chief, the Tianyan Dynasty must have a grudge because we took the Enlightenment pill, so they kidnapped the young master to threaten us. At this time, the black bear next to him who had previously injured the left prime minister said with a solemn face. Humph. They are seeking death. That Enlightenment pill can give us the forest of 10,000 beasts is already their blessing. Xuanhuan was already a little offended, but we didn't care about it and let him go. I didn't expect that they would dare to kidnap the young master now. They are simply asking for death. At this time, a brown female bear stood next to the black bear and said angrily, this female bear is named Manchuan, and she is the second master of the Bear Clan, second only to the Bear King. The cultivation level of the 8th level of Tianzuan realm is also the first-class powerhouse in the Northern Territory, and she was probably not even aware of what she was saying at this moment. This is a typical put aside the facts and just focus on the interests of the Bear Clan. At this time, too, other figures appeared in the hall. They are all human incarnations, one has gray hair, and one has a king mark between his eyebrows. I've seen the Wolf King, the Tiger King. Man Sun and the Black Bear both bowed their heads and saluted the other two people at this moment, and these two people are the other two kings of the 10,000 Beasts Forest, the leader of the Wolf Tribe and the leader of the Tiger Tribe. The gathering of the three kings of the 10,000 Beasts Forest represents the highest power of the entire 10,000 Beasts Forest. The Tiger King nodded, then looked at the Bear King and said, Old Bear, we Have heard about everything. The Tianyan Dynasty is no longer as simple as blackmail. This is a blatant and wanton provocation that doesn't take our 10,000 beasts forest seriously at all. Then Dongfang Yuan may be the reincarnation of a certain strong man, but he is still only at the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm. We are not completely helpless against him. Now that things have reached this point, the future troubles of the Tianyan dynasty will be completely eliminated. That the Tiger King's meaning was also very obvious. It was obviously impossible to let the Tianyan dynasty lead the way. King Xiong's face was full of anger, and he said with murderous intent in his eyes, Dongfang Yuan dares to kidnap my son, which has offended this king's bottom line. I must make the Tianyan dynasty irreversible and let that arrogant boy know that even if he is the reincarnation of a powerful man, he is not qualified to challenge my 10,000 beast forest. Man Sun, you immediately summon all the strong men of the Bear clan and accompany me to the Tianyan dynasty. King Xiong was furious and determined to destroy the Tianyan dynasty. At this time, the Wolf King said, Old Bear, calm down first. If you summon a large army to press them over, the effect will be counterproductive, and you probably won't be able to save Man Gang. Tiger King also agreed, yes, Old Xiong, if we attack Tianyan with great momentum, then Dongfang Yuan is very likely to do something to Man Gang. The key sequence at the moment is to save Man Gang first, and then destroy Tianyan. There can be no confusion. After the Tiger King and Wolf King said this, the Bear King also calmed down. Then what do you think we should do? After calming down his mood, the Bear King asked. I have a plan that can save Man Gang and destroy Tianyan at the same time. This is what the Wolf King thought for a while, and then continued, at present, there should be one strong person above the 5th level of Tianzhuan realm in the Tianyan dynasty, besides Dongfang Yuan. In this case, we can be a little safer. Let Man Sun and Lang Yao bring the things Dongfang Yuan proposed and pretend to talk to them first. After the successful exchange and rescue of the young master, we will attack them immediately. The two Heavenly Lord Realm 8th level heavens personally led the team to take action. I think it is not difficult to overthrow the Tianyan dynasty. Lang Yao is the second-ranking figure in the Wolf clan. It is also the existence of the 8th level of Tianzhuan realm. What do you mean? We pretend to exchange conditions with them first, and then make sure that Ganger is safe, and then attack the Tianyan dynasty. King Xiong thought deeply. Yes, in this way, Man Gang will be saved and Tianyan will be destroyed. Even if they are prepared, I don't believe they have the ability to defeat two powerful men from the 8th level of the heavenly realm. Unless they have someone at the top of the heavenly realm standing in charge, but how is that possible? The Wolf King said with a disdainful smile, this method is feasible. Old Bear, what do you think? Tiger King looked at him and asked. After thinking for a while, the Xiong King agreed, Man Sun, you and Lang Yao take those materials to Tianyan and follow the Wolf King's plan. But one thing you must remember is that you must ensure the safety of the young master. Yes, clan leader. Man Sun responded. Tianyan dynasty, in the harem bedroom, after Dongfang Yuan came back, he saw Qian Xinro and Xiao Qingli chatting and laughing, and their relationship was extremely good. This can't help but make Dongfang Yuan a little confused. He has only been gone for a long time. Why did the relationship between the two women sublimate all of a sudden? My beloved, Rower, what are you talking about? You are so happy. Dongfang Yuan walked into the hall and said with a smile. Talk about secrets between women. You finished it so quickly, that Xiao Qingli said with a normal expression. Yes. It's done. If nothing else happens, all the concubine's conditions should be completed within 20 days. Until then, dear concubine, you must obey my words. Whatever I ask you to do is what you have to do. A wicked smile appeared on Dongfang Yuan's face, and his eyes looked expectant. Xiao Qingli couldn't help but blush a little when she heard what he said, and finally cursed shyly, shameless. Hey, why are you blushing, dear concubine? You can't wait, can't you wait? Dongfang Yuan joked. Roll. You shameless, Xiao Qingli blushed like a monkey's butt and kicked Dongfang Yuan over, but was caught by Dongfang Yuan and tickled her soles. Xiao Qingli also immediately pulled back, raised her neck, and gave him a look. Qian Shinro watched this scene from the side, smiling and showing off her flowers, and the snowy mountains in front of her also trembled one after another. Your Majesty, Sister Qingli just explained to me the divine physique of Tianji. Rower didn't expect that she would have such a legendary physique. Is it possible that your Majesty discovered this about Rower and brought Rower into the palace? Qian Shinro had a sweet and lovely smile on her face, and there was a hint of playfulness in her cute and innocent look. Chapter 46 Threats. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dongfang Yuan looked a little embarrassed for a moment, then immediately responded with a smile. Look at what Rower said. Rower is so gentle and lovely, of course I like everything about Rower. The one I love must be a specific Rower. The Tianyan Divine Body is just the icing on the cake. Saying this, Dongfang Yuan held one in each hand. After sitting down, he directly held the two women by his waist and sat on his lap. Cluck. Rower likes to hear what His Majesty said. Qian Shinro is so smart, there are some things she won't say clearly. Grumpy. Xiao Qingli glanced at him and said a little proudly and coldly. Dongfang Yuan smiled calmly. Both women are smart people, and they understand what they need and what they don't want. So Dongfang Yuan was very relieved about their relationship. All right. Let's get down to business. My dear concubine, what exactly is the awakening method of this divine body of heaven and wisdom? Dongfang Yuan asked seriously. Qian Shinro also listened intently. This is an important event for her. If she can awaken the divine body of Tianji, it will be a great good thing for herself and the Tianyan Dynasty. 3 things. True dragon essence and blood, Bailuo Dao fruit, Tianxiu spiritual liquid. Refining these 3 things into a heavenly wisdom pill, after letting Rower take it, she can awaken the heavenly wisdom divine body. But these 3 things are probably not available in the Northern Territory. You should go to the sea area. Xiao Qingli also told them how to awaken the divine body. Dongfang Yuan felt a little troubled when he heard the names of these 3 things, Bailuo Dao fruit and Tianxiu spiritual liquid. These 2 things are extremely precious spiritual objects in the world. They have the miraculous effect of stimulating the body's potential and opening up the 2 meridians of Ren and Du. These 2 things, just casually the same, would make even a saint fall in love with them, and the essence and blood of a true dragon is even more precious. What a dragon! This is a true holy beast, and it is at least the heavenly realm since birth. Dongfang Yuan has also heard that in the depths of the distant sea, there is the legendary true dragon clan. They are the ancient overlords in the sea, and their background is unfathomable. Even the saints dare not challenge them. Fine. Well, we have to go to the sea sooner or later. Give me some time for these 3 things, and I will find a way to get them. Don't worry, Rower. Dongfang Yuan also kissed Qian Shinro's forehead. Qian Shinro felt in her heart and said, Thank you, Your Majesty. Xiao Qingli stood up at this moment and looked at Dongfang Yuan with a cold face. Okay, I'm going to practice. The past few days have been a critical time for me to make a breakthrough, so don't disturb me yet. Don't worry, my beloved, I promise not to disturb you. Dongfang Yuan nodded in response. Xiao Qingli nodded, glanced at the 2 of them, and saw a hint of desire in Dongfang Yuan's eyes. She left the hall without saying anything. His Majesty. Why does Rower seem to see a look of reluctance in Sister Zhao's eyes? At this time, Qian Shinro was sitting in Dongfang Yuan's arms, her voice sweet and moving. Ha 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 ha. It doesn't matter, let her wait for a few more days. In the past few days, I will completely surrender you first. After Dongfang Yuan finished speaking, he wanted to kiss Qian Shinro. Your Majesty, how long has it been? Didn't Rower kneel down and surrender last time? Rower has completely surrendered. Qian Shinro put her hands on Dongfang Yuan's chest and said shyly, Last time was last time. This time, I will not give you a chance to beg for mercy. What? His Majesty. Before Qian Shinro could finish her words, Dongfang Yuan blocked her mouth and hugged Qian Shinro directly on the bed like a hungry wolf pouncing on its food. 79,999 words are omitted here. During the past few days when Dongfang Yuan and Qian Shinro were discussing how to expand a small stream into a big river, Tai Poyan and King Tianyu were not idle either. Tai Poyan relied on the Tianyan Dynasty's exponentially increased resource allocation, their reputation for destroying the Blood Shadow Tower, and Dongfang Yuan's current prestige. In just a few days, the number of soldiers recruited has exceeded 500 million, and it is not far away from the target number of 1,000 million. King Tianyu has also led his army to continuously sweep away several forces surrounding the Tianyan dynasty, for several days in a row. With the strong attack of King Tianyu and the cooperation of strong men such as Zhang Xunhui, 7 of the surrounding first-rate forces have surrendered and 3 have been destroyed. As for the top forces like Xiaoyu Palace and Blood Shadow Tower, there are also 2 who are willing to surrender to the Tianyan dynasty. All the leaders were temporarily controlled by the Tianyan dynasty using drugs. After ensuring that they have no intention of rebellion, the Tianyan dynasty will naturally give them the antidote. In such a short period of time, the territory of the Tianyan dynasty expanded rapidly, and the territory it ruled was added to the territory previously taken away from the Daming dynasty, Xiaoyu Palace and other forces. The territory ruled by the Tianyan dynasty now accounts for 1/5 of the entire northern territory. It can even be said that the current ruling territory of Tianyan dynasty even exceeds that of the 2 dominant forces of 10,000 Beasts Forest and Xuanhuan sect. But this move of Tianyan dynasty completely made those overlord forces feel a potential threat to it. The continuous expansion of territory has made those in power of the hegemonic forces see Dongfang Yuan's ambitions. If the Tianyan dynasty's development momentum is not stopped, their next plan will be dominated by the overlord forces like them. However, the 3 factions, Fengyun Sect, 10,000 Beasts Forest, and even Xuanhuan Sect, are currently waiting for news, because all 3 of them sent people to the Tianyan dynasty. For 10,000 Beasts Forest and Fengyun Sect, what they want is the fate of Dongfang Yuan and the destruction of Tianyan dynasty, Tianyan Imperial City. At this time, on the street, Han Wanxiang was wearing a veil and walking on the road with 2 old women from the Xuanhuan sect. Judging from their direction, they were planning to go to Tianyan Palace. Miss. The current turmoil in the northern territory is all because of the Tianyan dynasty. On our way here, we heard many rumors about Dongfang Yuan. I really didn't expect this person's ambition to be so big. And the Tianyan dynasty actually has the ability to expand their rule so much in this short period of time. It's really incredible. Chapter 47. A wise man has no desires. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the way, an old woman next to Han Wanxiang said. Han Wanxiang smiled vaguely, and the face under the veil was full of charm. I am becoming more and more curious now. Who is his true identity? Miss, your holy body of joy has now been completed. All men in this world may find it difficult to resist your temptation, miss. Even though Dongfang Yuan is rumored to be magical, as long as he is a man, I believe that he will not escape the palm of the young lady. Another old woman said with a smile on her face. Han Wanxiang smiled lightly, her face full of confidence, and led the 2 of them into Tianyan Palace. No. Your Majesty. Forget it if you can't put it in. Rower is in too much pain. It's okay, Rower, this is too dry, there is no water. Just lubricate it and you can go in. Just be patient. Ah. Your Majesty, it hurts. Stop it. Boo. Your Majesty, it's in. Inside the bedroom, Qian Shinro was sweating profusely, her face was pale and tired, and her wrists were red. Fortunately, the bracelet Dongfang Yuan gave her was successfully put on. Although Qian Shinro's wrist hurt, this crystal-clear jade bracelet still looked very beautiful on her hand, and it even enhanced her temperament. Look, Rower. I have said that as long as there is water, you can go in. Otherwise, if it is too dry, the bracelet cannot deform. Your bones are larger, so you can only find a suitable angle with the water so that the bracelet can go in. What I told you before is the same thing. This bracelet contains a piece of my Emperor's power, which can be killed by all saints, so as to protect your safety. Dongfang Yuan held Xian judo. Qian Shinro was wearing pink loose clothes and kissed Dongfang Yuan. Rower, thank you for the gift. Hey hey hey. Rower, I haven't had enough fun yet. His Majesty. I can't do it anymore. Rower hasn't slept a wink for several nights. Your Majesty's dragon body is so brave, but Rower's body really can't bear it. Qian Shinro pleaded pitifully. Looking at Qian Shinro's look, Dongfang Yuan felt a little distressed and touched her little face. Okay, let Rower rest for a few days and don't bother anymore. Dongfang Yuan kissed her mouth and then got out of bed. Qian Shinro continued to wrap herself in the quilt, because her body was tired, so she planned to take a good rest. At this time, a tiptoeing sound came from outside the hall. His Majesty. It is the left Prime Minister. However, he probably didn't dare to speak too loudly because he was afraid of disturbing Dongfang Yuan when he was doing business. Dongfang Yuan had just planned to sit on a chair and adjust his breathing. After hearing Xuanhuan's voice, he directly asked, "What's the matter? Tell me." After hearing Dongfang Yuan's response, Xuanhuan's voice became normal. Your Majesty, Han Wanxiang, the saint of the Xuanhuan sect, and two Tianzhuan realm elders of the Xuanhuan sect want to visit your Majesty. I have invited them to stay in the side hall. I wonder if your Majesty will see them or not. Dongfang Yuan frowned slightly after hearing Xuanhuan's words. Han Wanxiang. What is she here for? He and the Xuanhuan sect are still in conflict with each other, although the system had given him suggestions that he could accept Han Wanxiang as his concubine, because her body is an excellent dual cultivation cauldron. Absorbing her Yuan Yin can greatly improve your cultivation. Dongfang Yuan also had thoughts about her, but he didn't expect that she would come to him. When Qian Shinro heard the name Han Wanxiang, her eyes that had been closed tiredly slowly opened, feeling a little strange. Does Han Wanxiang have any purpose in coming to His Majesty at this juncture? Did she say what she wanted from me? Dongfang Yuan asked. Back to your Majesty. Han Wanxiang said that he has admired His Majesty's reputation for a long time and wants to visit His Majesty and see with his own eyes the legendary figures in the Northern Territory today. Xuanhuan replied. She's quite good at saying nice things. Forget it. Tell her to wait for a while. After I change my clothes, I will meet with her. Dongfang Yuan said with a smile. Yes, your Majesty. I will make arrangements immediately. Xuanhuan immediately retreated. Dongfang Yuan also started to put on the dragon robe again. At this time, Qian Shinro on the bed said, Your Majesty, do you think why Han Wanxiang came to see your Majesty? How does the Emperor know? I won't know until I meet her. Dongfang Yuan looked relaxed and was wearing his robes. Qian Shinro's face became serious. Your Majesty, Shinro feels that Han Wanxiang's coming here may not be that simple. Oh. What do you think of Rower? Dongfang Yuan also turned around, looked at Qian Shinro and asked. His Majesty. Rower has a guess in her heart. This Han Wanxiang is famous for her acacia holy body in the Northern Territory. She has fascinated many young men in the Northern Territory. There are countless crazy men who are willing to sacrifice their lives for her, but no one can really get her. Can control the heart of tens of thousands of men at will. Such a woman's thoughts are definitely not simple. There are rumors circulating in the Northern Territory that your Majesty is the reincarnation of a certain peerless powerful man, which is why his cultivation level has broken through so quickly. However, His Majesty has never responded, which means there is no clear answer. And behind this, I believe that every one of those in the Overlord forces definitely wants to know whether His Majesty is the reincarnation of a certain powerful person. Similarly, this also includes the Xuanhuan sect. So your Majesty should be able to guess the purpose of Han Wanxiang's visit, right? Qian Shinro expressed her inner speculation. This part was guessed by her clever mind, and the other part was her intuition as a woman. Dongfang Yuan stopped his movements at this moment and began to think deeply about Qian Shinro's words. After a while, he said with a serious face, Rower, do you mean that Han Wanxiang's real purpose of coming to see the Emperor is to find out what I am? But why should she? The outside world knows my Emperor's cultivation level, which is at the level of Tianzhuan realm. And she is just a little woman who has not reached the realm of Dharma. Why can she confuse me? Come to find out what I am like, Dongfang Yuan said with some disdain. It's not that he looks down on Han Wanxiang, but with his current level of cultivation at the 7th level of Heavenly Master Realm, how could he be seduced by Han Wanxiang? His Majesty. What if Han Wanxiang has mastered the holy body of Acacia? If His Majesty is unprepared and is seduced for a moment, is it very likely that he will fall under Han Wanxiang's skirt? Otherwise I have to say it, the only people who understand women best are women, especially a smart woman like Qian Xinro, who can guess the most critical things sharply. Dongfang Yuan couldn't help but think calmly at this moment. The great completion of the Holy Eucharist of Acacia. Dongfang Yuan already made his own decision in his heart, as Qian Xinro said, if Han Wanxiang is really as she guessed, so it is true that ordinary 5th-level Tianzuan realms may also fall into the trap, but Dongfang Yuan is not ordinary, and his cultivation is now at the 7th level of Tianzuan realm, but it has not been announced to the public, and his current soul power has reached semi-saint level, and his character and willpower cannot be shaken even if Han Wanxiang tries his best, but... Dongfang Yuan suddenly had an evil thought in his heart. He suddenly said, what Rower said is absolutely true. This Han Wanxiang may indeed be able to confuse this emperor. But I have agreed to meet her, what should I do now? Qian Xinro was also lost in thought at this moment and began to help Dongfang Yuan think of a solution. Dongfang Yuan was walking in front of her at this moment and said with a smile, Rower, you don't want to see me being confused by the Holy Maiden of Joy, right? Qian Xinro raised her head, nodded seriously and said, this is natural. Of course Rower doesn't want to see it. In that case, I, the Emperor, have an excellent way. The Holy Eucharist of Acacia is the desire that appeals to people's hearts. But if there is no desire, won't she be able to seduce? After saying that, Dongfang Yuan was already sitting on the edge of the bed, looking at Qian Xinro with a smile. Qian Xinro was smart and immediately understood what Dongfang Yuan wanted to do. Everyone has desires. If you want to have no desire, then only the sage. She was hesitant and physically tired. But in the end she wanted to prevent Dongfang Yuan from being seduced by the Holy Maiden of Joy. She finally agreed and was very proactive. Chapter 48 Women's Body Fragrance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There was intense commotion in the bedroom. After Xuanhuan made arrangements, he and Han Wanxiang were waiting for Dongfang Yuan's arrival in the side hall. As a result, I have been waiting for half an hour. But there is no movement at all. Han Wanxiang was okay, she could hold her breath, and her face under the veil remained calm, but the 2 old women who were traveling with her couldn't bear it anymore. Left Prime Minister. What important matters do you Emperor Yuan have to deal with? We've been waiting for half an hour. Is this the way your Tianyan Dynasty treats guests? An old woman asked at this time. It just doesn't make sense. No matter what you say, their Xuanhuan sect is still a dominant force. Although only the 3 of them came, it did not mean that Tianyan Dynasty was qualified to let them go. Guys, please be patient and have some tea first. I'll go see if His Majesty is already on his way here. At this moment, Xuanhuan could only apologize with a smile. Then he also felt a big headache and went to Qian Xinro's bedroom to see what was going on. Humph. This Dongfang Yuan is simply too deceptive. For half an hour, he is so proud. Does he really think he is the king of the Northern Territory? Another old woman was also furious and spoke straight up. As Tianzuan realm experts of the Xuanhuan sect, no one dared to neglect them like this no matter where they were in the Northern Territory, but when it comes to the Tianyan Dynasty, Dongfang Yuan is letting the doves fly. It would be strange if you are not angry in your heart. No problem. Since he wants us to wait. Then let's see what tricks he wants to play. Han Wanxiang felt calm, picked up the teacup next to her and took a sip. Not long after, Xuanhuan came back. Miss Han, please wait a moment. His Majesty was just taking a bath and changing clothes. He is almost recovered now. Xuanhuan said with an apologetic smile. He was even more bitter inside. Who knows how His Majesty's addiction can be so great? He went to the door of the dormitory, but he didn't wait for him to speak. There were some sounds coming from the palace that he shouldn't have heard. he was so frightened that he didn't dare to say anything directly and went straight back. Han Wanxiang and the other three also listened to Xuanhuan's words and waited in the hall for a while, and this wait. Suddenly, half an hour passed again. Bastard! Xuanhuan! Are you, the Tianyan Dynasty, playing tricks on my Xinghai sect? Let us wait here for an hour. Do you think this is fun? An old woman completely exploded at this moment, shattering the table next to her with one palm. The figure stood up and shouted rudely. Even Han Wanxiang, although wearing a veil, could see that his face was a little gloomy. I really can't afford to lose face anymore. This 1,000 swordsman Dongfang Yuan was just treating them like monkeys. No no no. Elderly, Miss Han, this is a misunderstanding. Our Majesty, he. Who's making the noise? At this time, just as Xuanhuan was explaining hurriedly, a young voice sounded. Outside the hall, a figure wearing a dragon robe slowly walked in. It was Dongfang Yuan. His Majesty. You are finally here. Xuanhuan looked excited, but he was actually about to cry in his heart. The emperor took a bath, changed clothes, and washed the body of the dragon, which caused the time to be a little late. Don't you guys take offense. Dongfang Yuan had a faint smile on his face. Standing on the main hall, looking at Han Wanxiang and the other three, he said. The elder namely also said angrily, Emperor Yuan is quite good at choosing time, but taking a bath for an hour is too long, right? But be careful not to let the water soak away a layer of skin. Elder Li's face was dark. She didn't believe that Dongfang Yuan had been bathing for an hour. This guy must have done it on purpose. In the blink of an eye, Dongfang Yuan sat on the top position. He didn't pay attention to Elder Li's words. His eyes were filled with lust-free joy, and he smiled slowly. I love to be clean, so I take a longer bath every day. What's more, Saint Lady Han is here in person today. I have to wash away the dirt on my body so that I can be worthy of Saint Lady Han's gaze. Dongfang Yuan's sweet words also cut down Elder Li's gunpowder by more than half. When it came to entertaining Han Wanxiang, Li Yi naturally gravitated towards Dongfang Yuan. Han Wanxiang's eyes looked at Dongfang Yuan, and then he motioned to the two old ladies to sit down first and calm down. The two Xuanhuan sect elders looked at Xuanhuan and Dongfang Yuan, snorted coldly, and then sat down. The faces of both of them became extremely cold and their anger was gone. At this time, Han Wanxiang's beautiful eyes that could enchant all living beings were looking at Dongfang Yuan. Her voice was extremely charming, and even more playful. Huang Yuan said earlier that he was taking a bath, right? But just now, when Emperor Yuan passed by Wanxiang, how did Wanxiang feel? The smell on Emperor Yuan's body was not like the fragrance of a bath. On the contrary, it looks like a woman's body fragrance and the smell of rouge. Han Wanxiang's face under the veil smiled slightly. P.S. If you like it, please update it a little bit and give it a small gift. This is my first time writing a system article. If there is anything wrong with my writing, I hope you will forgive me. Chapter 49 Han Wanxiang, the gain outweighs the loss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dongfang Yuan himself didn't expect that Han Wanxiang's nose could be so sharp. She just flashed by, but she didn't expect that Qian Shinrou's body fragrance would be smelled by her. Dongfang Yuan's expression was normal and he said calmly, Holy Lady Han is joking. After all, I am also the 9th 5 supreme being of the Tianyan Dynasty. I bathe and change clothes, and there are some palace maids waiting on me. Isn't this a normal thing? Let's talk about business. The famous Saint Han came to our Tianyan Dynasty today. Does she have anything to do with me? Dongfang Yuan asked seriously. Wanxiang has long heard of Emperor Yuan's name. Today's Emperor Yuan can be said to be the #1 among the younger generation in the Northern Territory. Wanxiang has long wanted to pay a visit and meet the influential figures in the Northern Territory. How handsome is he? I didn't expect that when we met today, Emperor Yuan was even more handsome than the rumor said. Looking at it this way, Wanxiang's trip was definitely not in vain. Han Wanxiang's voice is charming and seductive, like a magic voice. Her eyes were also looking at Dongfang Yuan, and her beautiful red phoenix eyes blinked slightly. Unknowingly, the power of her acacia holy body was secretly operating, the whole body releases a sense of inner desire. Xuanhuan glanced at her a few times at this moment, and felt a fire burning in his lower abdomen all over his body. Looking at Han Wanxiang, he felt like he was going to pull strings unconsciously. Ha 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 ha. Saintess Han praises me so much that I feel a little embarrassed. How about this? I also admire Holy Lady Han very much. I want to have tea and chat with the Holy Lady alone. What does the Holy Lady mean? Dongfang Yuan laughed deliberately and opened his mouth to invite. And his voice also made Xuanhuan immediately come back to his senses from his somewhat confused state. Han Wanxiang glanced at Dongfang Yuan quietly, then smiled charmingly and said, "There is nothing wrong with me. It is good. Prime Minister Zhua, please take the 2 elders of Xuanhuan sect and go to Taiqing Hall to wait. We must entertain the 2 elders well, and we must not lose the etiquette of our Tianyan Dynasty. Do you understand?" Dongfang Yuan said to Xuanhuan. "Yes, Your Majesty." Xuanhuan also immediately took the 2 of them away. At this moment, only Han Wanxiang and Dongfang Yuan were left in the palace. Dongfang Yuan waved his hand, and a chair appeared next to him. He said to Han Wanxiang, "Saint Han, please come up and sit down." Han Wanxiang walked up slowly with light steps. Have to say, the feeling Han Wanxiang gave Dongfang Yuan was in one word besides charm, that is big. Big enough to explode. In the Blue Star world, with a figure like Han Wanxiang's, even if she did a live broadcast without showing her face and dressed sexy, there would definitely be a lot of men showering her with gifts. One pill is as good as one head series, those who have experienced it should know, a suffocating weapon. Han Wanxiang also sat down at this time, without taking off her veil, and slowly looked at Dongfang Yuan. At this time, Dongfang Yuan waved his hand, and 2 cups of spiritual tea appeared on the table. He smiled and said, "It is rumored that Saint Han has a peerless beauty. I wonder if you can take off the veil so that I can see her true appearance." Emperor Yuan wants to meet, so Wanxiang will naturally not refuse. Han Wanxiang also took off her veil. At the same time, at the moment when her veil is removed, in her eyes, an undetectable red light flashed. She secretly activated the holy body of joy again. When Dongfang Yuan saw Han Wanxiang's true appearance, he even met her eyes. Immediately, I felt as if there were countless threads trying to stir up the desires in my heart. However, his soul power blocked all those lines and was unable to interfere with him at all. However, Dongfang Yuan did not intend to end like this. It has been determined that Han Wanxiang has a plot against him, and he has even activated the holy body of joy. Then it's not too much to charge some interest yourself. Dongfang Yuan looked into her eyes suddenly. Dongfang Yuan's eyes changed, and his expressions began to change in turns, including confusion, obsession, superiority, intoxication, depression, etc. Saint Han is indeed a saint of the Xuanhuan sect. Her appearance is simply stunning in the world and makes my heart flutter. Dongfang Yuan pretended to be good, so Han Wanxiang easily believed that Dongfang Yuan had been tricked. Haha. I thought how strong the willpower is. Just now, I was able to resist the charm of this saint, which shocked me. I didn't expect that. I overestimated you. Sure enough, these powerful men are all the same. Even the reincarnation of a peerless strong man cannot suppress his inner lust. It's true that heroes are saddened by beauty. Seeing how easily Dongfang Yuan was aroused by him, Han Wanxiang was filled with disdain for him. The charm of her Xuanhuan holy body continued to be released, and an extremely seductive smile appeared on her face as she said, "If Emperor Yuan is interested in Wanxiang, then it is not wrong for Wanxiang to stay and spend the night with Emperor Yuan today." Oh. Do you really mean what Saint Han said? Do you really want to spend the night with me? Do not worry. This emperor will definitely make Holy Lady Han so excited that this night will be unforgettable. While he was talking, Dongfang Yuan had already taken Han Wanxiang's hand. Before she could react, he pulled her directly and held her in his arms. It was so wonderful to feel the softness of her body. Han Wanxiang's expression changed instantly. She didn't expect that Dongfang Yuan would be so bold and hug her directly. Her heart was full of disgust for it. This willpower is not as good as some other ordinary men in the Northern Territory. It's just like a sperm upper brain, an animal that only knows how to help the lower body feel comfortable. Han Wanxiang wanted to break away, but Dongfang Yuan's strength suppressed her. Han Wanxiang did not dare to break away too forcefully at this moment, for fear of interrupting the charm of the holy body of Acacia and losing her success. Never mind. Bear with him for a while. As long as I ask what I want to know, I will send him away. Han Wanxiang decided in her heart. Therefore, she also endured being held in Dongfang Yuan's arms at this moment, with her legs on his knees. A smile appeared on Han Wanxiang's face, and she said seductively, "Of course you can, but Emperor Yuan, you need to answer a few questions from Wanxiang first." As long as Emperor Yuan clears the doubts in Wanxiang's heart, then tonight, Wanxiang will be at Emperor Yuan's disposal. Han Wanxiang's smile, every frown and smile, is full of all kinds of charm. Putting this on a certain platform of basketball stars is enough to turn tens of millions of perverts into disgrace, and even deceive them into bankruptcies. It probably won't be a problem. You say. I will tell you everything I know, and I will tell you everything I know. In response, Dongfang Yuan hugged Han Wanxiang tighter, and her upper body was already close to his face. Han Wanxiang felt extremely disgusted, but she still held it back. Chapter 50 Prestige Value Breakthrough, Holy Weapon Reward. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are rumors circulating in the Northern Territory that Emperor Yuan is the reincarnation of a certain peerless powerhouse. That's why his cultivation can break through so fast. Wanxiang is also very curious, so Emperor Yuan. Can you solve this doubt in Wanxiang's heart? Han Wanxiang was stroking Dongfang Yuan's face and looking into his eyes. The charming aura of the Acacia holy body was infinitely released, seducing Dongfang Yuan and completely making his desire come to mind. Dongfang Yuan's acting looks old. Looking at Han Wanxiang's eyes, her mouth was about to drool. He hugged her even tighter, as if he wanted to stuff Han Wanxiang's charming body into his own body. He replied slowly with obsessed eyes, "Of course. Since Saint Han wants to know, I will tell you." Han Wanxiang was both disgusted and proud in her heart, and she disdained to laugh. He is indeed a stinky man with sperm in his head. He took the bait so quickly. Come. Holy girl, put your ear closer and I'll tell you secretly. Dongfang Yuan said with obsessed eyes. Han Wanxiang also endured it, moved closer, and put her ear next to Dongfang Yuan. Dongfang Yuan looked at the attractive figure that was close to him and whispered in Han Wanxiang's ear, "This emperor's previous life was called Yi." Laugh. What? At this time, the moment Dongfang Yuan finished speaking, his big hand pinched a certain part close to his eyes, causing Han Wanxiang's expression to change and she screamed in pain. Han Wanxiang was about to fight back immediately, but the aura from Dongfang Yuan's body dissipated directly, and the power of Tianzhuan realm dispersed slightly, sending Han Wanxiang flying to the center of the hall. Dongfang Yuan. How dare you humiliate this saint? Han Wanxiang became angry from shame. At this moment, she naturally understood that Dongfang Yuan had not been tricked at all and had been playing tricks on her from the beginning. Moreover, he even took advantage of her and was pinched by him painfully. She probably turned red. Han Wanxiang was ashamed and angry, the cheeks were red and there was an angry look on his face. For a moment, it was impossible to tell whether he was angry, shy, or both. Dongfang Yuan regained his composure at this time. He rubbed his fingers and said slightly, "Saint Han is indeed the dream lover of many men in the Northern Territory. This feeling is unforgettable. No wonder so many people are fascinated by you. Even the emperor can't help but fall in love with you." Dongfang Yuan said wantonly. These words made Han Wanxiang even more angry. Bastard! Dongfang Yuan, why didn't you get hit? Why doesn't my holy body of Acacia work on you? That while Han Wanxiang was angry, she couldn't help but be confused. He has already cultivated the holy body of Acacia to great perfection. Even if he is a strong man in the 5th level of the heavenly realm, he cannot possibly have no desire at all when he is charmed at such a close distance. Even if he had just enjoyed the joy of rain before coming, the charming power of the holy body of Albizia could stimulate his desire, even if he didn't lift it, and it would be invincible in an instant. Why is it useless to Dongfang Yuan? Holy Lady Han. The temptation of the Holy Eucharist is indeed difficult to resist. But it's a pity that you met Dongfang Yuan. I have loved to read thousands of books since I was a child. Even if you have experienced hundreds of battles, you may not know more about postures than I do. This is just a little bit of charm, nothing more than a drizzle. Dongfang Yuan said shamelessly. Pooh! Shameless. I am the Holy Lady of the Xuanhuan sect. If you dare to insult me like this, aren't you afraid of the revenge of the Xuanhuan sect? Han Wanxiang warned. Saintess Han, you must not say this. You were the one who started the matter, and you were the first to use the charm technique on me. If we really want to be reasonable, you Xuanhuan sect is the one who is wronged. Why am I bullying you now? Dongfang Yuan said with a playful smile on his face. You. Good. Very good. Dongfang Yuan, I will remember what happened today. Let's wait and see. It won't be long before you have to kneel down and beg me to save your life, Han Wanxiang said angrily, and then left the palace angrily. Shortly after Han Wanxiang left, Xuanhuan hurriedly walked in. Your Majesty, Miss Han and elderly have all left. They. Xuanhuan didn't finish his words. Dongfang Yuan interrupted directly. Don't worry, they won't leave completely yet. Correct. How did the matter that the emperor handed over to Marshal Tai and King Tianyu go? Dongfang Yuan asked. Don't worry, Your Majesty. Marshal Iron's mission has been completed, and all 1,000 million soldiers have been recruited. As for King Tianyu, he has already ruled many forces with his army. Within a radius of miles outside the territory of our Tianyan Dynasty, there is only one territory left by the Zhao family that has not yet been captured. But with King Tianyu's speed, it shouldn't take long. Xuanhuan replied, Stare. Congratulations to the host, the territory of the Tianyan Dynasty has once again expanded by 100,000 miles. The prestige value of Tianyan Dynasty increased by 1,500 points, and the current prestige value is 4320. The reward gift package has been sent, the prestige value has exceeded 4,000, and an achievement gift package has been sent. It really means that Cao Cao and Cao Cao are here, just as Dongfang Yuan asked Xuanhuan, the system prompt sounded in his mind. It is good. The emperor knows, please go down first. By the way, according to Yidao's speed, there should be less than half a day left before he reaches Tianyan Dynasty. Be prepared so that the guards can open the palace door wide and let him in without blocking him. Dongfang Yuan instructed. Yes. Your Majesty. Xuanhuan turned and left the palace. System, open the reward package and achievement package. Stare. The gift bag is opening. Stare. Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the opportunity to upgrade the Guardian Array X1, the 5th grade Dao Heavenly Pill X2, the 7th grade Zun Breaking Pill X10, the 5th grade Xian Pill X1000, the 6th grade Xianhui Pill X1000, 1-year cultivation X1, and the holy weapon Xuanhuan Thorn. X1, the next moment, these treasures were floating in front of Dongfang Yuan one by one in the mid-air above the hall. Dongfang Yuan looked excited, focusing entirely on the Xuanhuan Thorn, which was only half the length of a sword. Holy soldier. This is a holy soldier. Those overlord-level forces in the Northern Territory can maintain their status all year round and remain standing. The most important thing is to rely on their holy weapon background. It is extremely difficult to create a holy weapon. Even strong men at the saint level mostly use spiritual weapons of the supreme level, which are far from reaching the level of holy weapons. The sacred vessels are divided into 3 categories, upper, middle and lower. Generally speaking, if a mid-grade holy weapon exerts its power will never be inferior to that of a strong man who has just stepped into the saint realm. System, open the elixir and introduce the holy soldiers. P.S. Don't keep books, update them every day and read them every day, otherwise the books will easily become useless.